Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Auntie Derek's Daytime Tea, where we discuss the latest celebrity tea in the news. I'm your host, Auntie Derek, and today is Friday, October 24th. Now, this is actually my first time doing my daytime show at nighttime, so a bitch feels like Arsenio Hall right now, and I'm very excited to do this nighttime show. So let's get it. And with me on the mic, I have my fabulous co host, my icy chili, and my gorgeous moon. Hey, ladies.
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
and for all intents and purposes, we are the dog pound. Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it.
You know what? I'm dating myself for real. Let me stop. Let me stop.
Let's go. And shout out to Arsenio Hall. And so before I believe I teased on a couple of shows that I was going to have a special guest on this nighttime show, and that special guest is here, and I am very excited. So when I was a young whippersnapper, honey, a young whippersnapper in the ninth grade, I was in a theater arts class, and there was just this really pretty girl with a really pretty smile that was always so damn nice to me. When everybody was not so nice to me, this girl was. And this girl's name is Crystal. Crystal, hello, my love. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
Welcome,
for having
Crystal.
me.
Yay.
Oh, I
Yes.
did not remember that, but I do remember theater class. Okay.
Miss
Yeah,
Strickland, honey, you remember her, honey, and
I
honey,
do.
I used to
I
get on
do.
everybody's nerves but yours.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad that you had
You?
something nice to say about me.
You got on people's nerves?
No,
What?
he didn't get on my nerves. So,
See, I said everybody but Crystal.
okay.
But but what brings you here? Because now you mentioned that my cousin Shirley on my October 6th show when she was
Hmm.
telling her story about being a triple negative breast cancer survivor, that inspired you to want to tell your story. So we are more than excited to hear your story. So what brings Crystal here?
Yeah, I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw it and I said, "Oh my God." I said I would love to share my story and I've been saying this lately. I just feel like I'm the Martin Luther King Jr. of I need to share my health story. You know,
Let's go.
I'm a autism mom. I have to, tell people about that, just sharing my story and just getting out there inspiring people. So when I saw that, I listened to it and then I reached out to you and asked, could I be a part of it? So thank you so much for having me and changing up the time for my schedule. I appreciate that.
You are most welcome. And one thing nobody can deny, you know you are a whole baddie when you can get a bitch to change the time of their own show just so they can talk to you. So shout out,
Oh,
you can put that on your resume, girl. Put that I'm a whole baddie.
okay. I'm gonna make sure I put it up there too.
So yes. So now the viewers should see on slide 2 that we have a flyer that you are a part of. So it looks as if you will be making or doing a walk tomorrow.
Yeah, so I'm a part of a sorority. It's called the National Sorority of Phi Delta Kappa Incorporated, and it is so a sorority for educators. And we do an annual breast cancer walk, and I'm the chair of the Health, Hypertension, and Nutrition Committee. And so we all wore pink at the beginning of the month, and Trivia made a shirt, so we're very excited about it. And we're going to be doing this walk tomorrow, but we've been doing it every single year. And if you look at the flyer, it is a QR code up there. We're trying to raise money so that our sorority can give a donation to support breast cancer awareness. So that's what you see. And if you look on that flyer, that is pictures of me and some of my sorors at the event in the past years.
Oh, a group of
Hmm.
baddies, all pretty in pink.
Hmm.
So, first of all, y'all scan that QR code, open those purses, open those wallets, let these girls hit their goal. Scan that QR code, and you can see a part of her organization. Um,
Hmm.
n- just out of curiosity, and if this is too personal, please feel free to not answer. But do
Okay.
you have in regards to breast cancer, because we do a breast cancer awareness segment here, just like you're doing this breast cancer awareness walk. Do
Mhm.
you have a personal story with breast cancer?
I do. So, you ready for me to go ahead and get started and share
I-
that, Derek?
Oh, I'm ready, baby.
Okay, so it's a lot of things that built up to that. So I'm just gonna start with the first thing that happened was my aunt Nita, that was my mom's sister. She passed away in October of 2020. And when she passed away, she had pancreatic cancer.
Oh my
And
gosh, I'm
so,
sorry to hear that.
yes, and so right after my aunt passed away, me and my mom, we were selling jewelry, and we had a business together. It was called A Mother's Jewel, and we were the mother-daughter duo. So I'll never forget going live one night and showing the jewelry. And after we did the live, my mom had told me that she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she waited until the end of the live because she didn't want my mood to change. And so she tells me this. And like I said, we had literally just lost my aunt. And so we were still trying to process that. And then my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So pretty much, mom went through a lot of different types of chemos and treatments. She was so positive about the situation. Um, but none of them worked. And she would be in so much pain, y'all. Like, she would always talk about the wounds and how much they were hurting. And so
Oh,
when it got to her last days, so when she would talk about these wounds, she would never show them to me. All she would do was tell me, like, I'm in so much pain. And I didn't see it until she was like pretty much out of it. And so we would always read this prayer, like a healing prayer. We would read it every single morning. And we were like, just praying that she was going to make it. Because my mom, she actually passed away, um, 2 years after my aunt. So she pretty much, was trying to get through the breast cancer situation for 2 years, on top of being depressed from losing her sister. That, we were a very, very close family. I talked to my mom every single day. So every morning on the way to work, we would read that healing prayer. And I remember my dad saying that he had to go to work. And so I said, well, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to help you with mom. I had just seen my mom, and she was just like talking to me like normal. Um, she was eating food. Then the next time I saw her, she couldn't drink any water. She wasn't using the bathroom. She wasn't eating. And it was just like a drastic change. And so my dad was putting medicine on her wounds. Now I was like sneaking and looking because I was worried about my mom. And like I said, she never wanted me to see it. But I saw it. And when I saw it, it was something that I've never seen anything like it. Like, it's undescribable. And it scared me so bad, when my mom passed from it. I decided that I needed to, get mammograms or figure out what I needed to do every 6 months, because I was scared that I was going to get breast cancer. And let me tell you the reason why I was so scared. I was so scared because my mom was the fourth woman in the family to get diagnosed with breast cancer.
oh my Lord.
So it started with my aunt Selena, and she's actually my mom's only living sister right now. And then after my aunt Selena, it was my grandma. That's my mom's mom. After my grandma, it was my aunt Emily, and that's my grandma's sister. And then it was my mom. Now, my mom would continuously have to get lumps removed over and over again for years until one day she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so when
Oh,
I
wow.
saw, how weak she was, Like I said, I was talking to her just like you and I are talking right now. And then all of a sudden she drastically changed. Then I said, I'm going to get me a double mastectomy. That's what I had said. I scheduled it. I had went and found out all the information. So they said they were going to give me like a mammogram, and then 6 months later they would give me like an MRI, and then I would get my mammograms, just so I could keep a close watch on it because I was considered high risk. And so mom dies, and 6 months later, I end up going to the bathroom. Okay. And I used the bathroom and it was blood in my stool. So
Oh, wow.
I automatically think, okay, I have cancer, right? Now, the only thing I want to do is call my mom, because I have my husband, I have my dad, I do have my grandma, and I have my mom's only living sister, which is my aunt Selena. But I just called my aunt. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to get up and go to work, but she wasn't answering the phone. And my grandma's in her 80s, so I wasn't going to call her. And I didn't feel comfortable calling my dad and my husband, trying to tell them that right away. I wanted to talk to somebody that was like similar to like my mom. But she was asleep. She didn't answer the phone. And I ended up calling out of work and going to see a doctor, and they thought it was hemorrhoids. So they gave me, some medicine to take. I was taking it, doing what they tell me to do, but it wasn't working. So I end up, going to get a second opinion, and they said, I want to give you a colonoscopy. So when they gave me the colonoscopy, I ended up being diagnosed with something called ulcerative proctitis. So that means, that it's affecting your rectum. It's
Oh,
a
my Lord.
Yeah, it's like an inflammatory bowel disease, but it only attacks your rectum and not your colon. A lot of people have heard of colitis, but it's not in the colon, it's in the rectum. And so I bring this up because I was so worried about, getting a mastectomy and worried about if I have cancer. I was dealing with that issue. So I had had a double mastectomy scheduled, and I'm like, well, I don't have cancer. So let me just put this on pause because I'm dealing with this other health issues. Let me take care of that. Because when you go to the bathroom and you continue to see blood, it it messes with you. You feel like something is wrong. And I ended up being hospitalized for that particular situation. Now, a week before I was hospitalized, I got a mammogram because, I said I was going to still be, you know, going every 6 months to keep an eye on it. But I said, I don't need to get that double mastectomy. I'm just going to go every 6 months and keep an eye on it. Let me take care of this situation. So I end up being in the hospital. And after I was released from the hospital, my husband took me to Walgreens to get my prescriptions. Now, when he took me to Walgreens to get the prescription, the doctor from when I got my mammogram called me while I was in the parking lot. And it took a week for them to call me. And I was wondering why it took so long for them to call me. And even when I was in the hospital, I was like, can you check my chart? Do you see anything about my mammogram results in there? And they were like, no. So I ended up getting a mammogram, where they, squish your breast, and that was fine. But since I was
Mhm.
considered high risk, I had to go see another doctor, and they had to actually, feel around the breast. Well, when they did that, they had felt a lump. So they were like testing that to see if it was cancerous or not. And every time I would go, every 6 months, like I would have to get the ultrasound or I would have to get the biopsy. And so I was starting to see a pattern of my mom. And that's, like I said, she did that for years, continued to get lumps removed until one day she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Okay, so a lot has happened, you know. So I get this phone call, and that's the doctor that gave me my mammogram, and she says that I'm going to have surgery. And I said, okay, like what's going on? And she said, it took us a week to call you because your sample was so rare. We couldn't tell if it was cancerous or not. And we've tested it over and over again. And I was like, okay. And they told me a specific doctor. Now, this particular doctor is the head surgeon at Duke. I did not want to deal with that doctor. And the reason I didn't want to deal with that doctor is because my mom saw her and she cared for her for years. So my mom trusted her opinion. But when my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, that particular doctor told my mom that they had caught it in time and she did not need to get a mastectomy. Now, this part is so important because I told you all the women in my family that were diagnosed with breast cancer. My Aunt
Yeah.
Selena, my grandma, and my Aunt Emily, all of them got a mastectomy. Okay. My mom did not get a mastectomy because the doctor told her they caught it in time and it's not necessary. My mom is the only one that is not here with us. So I didn't want to deal with that doctor. And but I had to get an appointment and get this surgery. So I didn't have a choice. So I said, well, if I don't have a choice, go ahead and book the appointment with her. And so I hang up, but then this was God, y'all. So 2 to 3 minutes later, my phone rings right back. She says, do you want the appointment with this particular doctor? I said, and it was different from the head surgeon. I said, is that going to be the doctor that is going to perform the surgery? And she said, yes. And I said, I'll take my chances with her. And so they scheduled it. And I told y'all I had scheduled to get a mastectomy. Well, when I was dealing with the ulcer at the proctitis, I canceled the mastectomy because I was so worried about that situation. And they had to rush and get it back because she asked me, she said, do you want to get a double mastectomy? And I was like, do I have cancer? She said, no, but some women don't want to keep dealing with this issue. And I said, well, I need to think about it. So, with everybody in my family that was diagnosed with breast cancer, it was some point in my life, like I was at a 64% chance of developing breast cancer at some point in my life, whereas other women might be at like a 30% chance. And so I said, let me think about it. I went to go and talk to the doctor, and she told me that if I get a double mastectomy, then I would be at 95% chance of developing breast cancer. So I said, let's do it. So I ended up getting
Wait, she said 95% that you will get cancer
that you
or not?
will
Won't
not get it, will
won't get
not get it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
for clarifying.
So I said, I'm sorry if I said it wrong, but yeah, not getting it. And so 5% versus 64%, I can deal with it. You know what I mean? Like I said, let's go ahead and do it. And so I proactively got a double mastectomy, not even knowing if I had cancer or not. And so it was November 23rd, 2023. That was when I got a double mastectomy. And that was hard. You know, that was a hard choice to make. But I have two children. I have a daughter and who she's an amazing artist. And I have a son. He's autistic and he loves to sing. He loves to read. And I wanted to be here so that I could see my kids live to, continue to do amazing things. So I made a hard decision and I ended up not having breast cancer. Thank God for that. But I don't regret, that decision. I think I made the right decision. I didn't want to sit and
And
wait.
did.
for
Yeah.
it to happen, because like I said, I was continuing to get the mammograms, and when I would get the mammograms, it was always something. It was never like, oh, let's get
It's
the
clean,
mammogram
right?
and then let's go on. It was always like, we have to
Always
do this
something.
next step. We have to
Right.
continue to do that.
The
Yeah.
Mm.
biopsy. You need this. You need that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You made the
Yeah.
right decision, Crystal.
Yeah, you did.
Just
I,
so you know, I also have a cancer journey, and this is about you. But
mm-hmm.
I had a double mastectomy also, so I recognize that that decision is very difficult to make. And
Right.
you know, the breast is such an essential part of our bodies, and a lot of each woman feels different about it, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. So I can't put my journey on you, and you can't put
Right.
someone else. It's all about how you feel about it. But wow,
Yeah.
Look, being here for your kids or some tatas, I think being here for your kids is more important.
yeah,
I think so too. And
with all that
so
history, especially, yeah, yeah, you did the right things.
Hmm.
now, some people can, get the double mastectomy and then go ahead and get the reconstructive surgery,
Hmm.
all of that at the same time. I
I
wasn't
didn't.
able to do that because of my ulcer proctitis. Like, I was
Oh,
having gut issues. And so I wanted to get the reconstructive surgery, like the tummy tuck. And then when they take the fatty tissues and,
Right.
make the breast.
you said I need a
So,
little work with that.
yeah.
I know that's right.
So I couldn't do it because I was having gut issues.
Right.
It was too risky.
Hmm.
So I had to get my double mastectomy. I got that surgery November 23rd, 2023. I didn't get the reconstructive surgery until the summer, in
Yeah.
June, and that was 2024. And I was overweight. I was 203 pounds. So from January up until the surgery, I ended up losing 56 pounds because I was too heavy to have the surgery. They
Oh,
wasn't
you
going
had to
they
lose weight for the surgery.
I had yeah. So that
Oh,
was, something else, that I had to deal with. And so
girl.
I
Yeah.
had to watch what I eat. I had to exercise. I had to do some more hard things.
No,
Yeah.
and I am gagged right now because now anybody who like knows you or has seen you, and first of all, I'm a huge fan of you and your family. Yeah, and I'm sure you've probably said, "Why is Derek always liking my damn pictures?" It's getting weird now, but I just love your family, especially shout out to your son and your daughter, and
Thank
you
you.
passed on that beautiful smile to your daughter. I have to say,
Thank you.
but like I'm just gagged, like,
What a
child, I.
story.
Yeah, and so, I had that surgery was very, very hard. Like, I was in so much pain
Mm,
that,
you.
I could barely move, and I didn't even want to take a bath. It hurt to stand in the shower to take a bath,
Yeah.
from when I ended up getting the reconstructive surgery. But I did it. And then I ended up getting revision surgery and the nipple surgery and the
Hmm.
areola tattoo. So that was spread out too. The
Okay.
last procedure that I got was April of this year.
Yeah, it's a long process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Are
it was
you
definitely
happy
long.
with your reconstruction?
I am. The only thing is, it's just a lot of scars, but
Yeah.
nobody sees it but me
Right.
and my husband. So
I I
nobody sees it,
that.
so it's fine.
I didn't want it, so you know, I
Hmm.
just asked because some
Yeah,
women do it, some don't,
yeah.
and,
I,
and
I I
I'm
told
okay
my
with
husband several times that I wasn't going to do it at first
it.
because I was in so much pain.
Yeah, them drains, man. When you would stand up and try to move, and that stitch start biting your ass, it's like, oh my god, the stitch hurt worse than anything else.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like,
told my husband, I said, I
damn.
don't know if I'm gonna do this. You're gonna have to deal with this. You're gonna have to be okay with this. I told him.
I'm still stuck on you needing to lose weight though, because that's why I was getting because you're not a heavy person, like you've never been. Uh,
I was 203 pounds and now I'm 156. It's a big difference. Like, I've
okay.
I've gained 6 pounds, like, from muscle though. You
Right.
see, yeah, I'll have to show you a picture of how much weight I lost.
It
Like I
depends on
was,
what surgery you're getting,
yeah.
Auntie, as to how they consider you overweight for a surgery. It's not like you're overweight and need, like weight loss surgery, but depending on what you need, you have to
Hmm.
lose weight for a specific kind of procedure.
They
Wow.
they said I had to be 185 or less.
That shit.
And I, you know what, and honestly, like when I had the surgery, I thought that I had lost too much weight. I said they're not going to have nothing out of my stomach to make anything with. Like I
Right.
was nervous about that, and he said no. He's like, it's okay. He's because I wasn't, I didn't have big breasts anyway.
Well, yeah, you weren't trying to do all that.
Right. So he said, I can work with that. Don't worry. He said, just don't lose no more weight. Just stay where
Oh,
you are. That's what he told me. And so I I had to lose that weight, and I lost it. But before I was a teacher, I studied fitness management. So one thing I'm really good at is losing weight and gaining weight. I have those down pat.
oh, okay, girl.
So
You did what you had to do.
yeah, yeah, I sure did. And it's like, and it was so hard. But so when I was out for
Yeah,
surgery, you know, I had ran out of sick leave days. And, if
yeah.
you're a teacher, Coco and Trivia can attest to this. It's much easier for you to go to work than to be out of work. And I was out of work for a while when I got my double mastectomy. And
Yeah.
not when I got the revision surgery, not well, the reconstructive surgery, because that was over the summer. But
Mm,
3 out of 4 of those procedures were during the school year. And I had to write lesson plans because I wasn't there.
right.
But God sent a lot of help for me. So when it was time, to make the copies, my parents, they came in, they were very supportive, and they made the copies for all the work that I needed when I was going to be
Oh,
out. People, I had a meal train, and I had like where
you
you
had a
could
village.
donate money. I really
Yes.
did. And so people,
Beautiful.
they fed us, they sent gift cards, they cooked for us. We didn't have to worry about any of those things. I
Wow.
prayed and prayed, and I was still able to get my paycheck. Like God really worked all of those things out.
What a blessing.
For
Won't he
yeah.
do it? Won't
Hmm.
he do it?
He really worked
Yeah.
all those things out because I was nervous about it.
I'm sure you were, but it worked out. God is good, baby.
Yeah, he sure is. He sure
That
is.
wasn't
So,
nothing but God right there.
hmm
All the time.
and
Oh, yo,
so
I'm
I
getting chills, girl. Your story is just, and everybody's story is different. And
hmm
comparing your story to the one we heard from, what was her name? I'm sorry.
cousin
Shirley, my
Shirley.
cousin.
Yeah, Cheryl. Oh my gosh. Each
Yeah.
one is just amazing. It's girl.
It was like my mom, like, okay, so this is the Bible verse that kept my mom alive as long as she was.
Let's hear it.
One of her really good friends gave her like a door hanger, and it said, "Be still and know." So she just kept seeing that Bible verse over and over again. Every time she would see it, she would text it to us.
Hmm.
Like, I saw the Bible verse again, and it was just like, my mom's name was Ellen, like, be still Ellen. Like, she held on to that Bible verse until her last days. Like, she had started like kind of hallucinating, and we thought it was the medicine that she was on, but
Hmm.
she was just getting so sick that
Yeah.
she couldn't remember things, but she held on to that Bible verse.
Mhm.
Psalm 46:10. She held on to that Bible verse. And the whole time while I was going through my health journey, I kept, telling myself, I can do hard things. I can do hard things. Like, cause it just kept getting harder,
Yeah.
with every time I turned around, it seemed like something else was,
Something. Hmm.
and I didn't even tell y'all my earlobe split. Like,
What?
through like all this
How
stuff
your
is going,
earlobes get in there?
I
so
know. What?
How they
what
get in the action? Like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
like I'm telling you, I end up having to get that stitch back up. All this
Oh my
stuff happened
goodness.
all at the same time. So I'm like, I can do
Wow.
hard things. I can do this. But then when I just kept praying, I realized that I can do all things
Yeah.
through Christ that strengthens me. So that's my verse. That was mama's verse, and that's my verse. And I continue just to tell people that all the time.
Well, I'm glad you did not have to face the doctor who did that to your mom. God
Yeah.
worked that out for you that you didn't. I mean, and they're probably a good surgeon,
Hmm.
but she definitely missed the call with your mother. And I'm
I
glad
agree.
that you didn't have to let her treat you to, not to say that she would have done a bad job, but just the feelings you probably had for
And
Hmm.
her
the
was
trauma,
not
yeah.
good. You know, it would just wouldn't have put
Hmm.
you in a good frame of mind. So God worked that out for you, and I love that for you that you didn't have to face her,
I
because
Yeah.
I would
I
have wanted to
agree.
punch her in her damn face for real.
That part.
I
That
just,
part.
I'm I was so thankful,
Yes,
and
I know.
I was so thankful though. So I ended up going to an appointment, to get the information about the double mastectomy. But like I said,
Hmm.
I canceled it because I was dealing with the other issue.
Right.
But I know that that was my mom, like making sure I went to that appointment. And I even had chills when I went to that appointment because
Hmm.
I didn't take my mom to a lot of her, chemo
Your dad
sessions or
doing
appointments because my dad did that.
right.
But one appointment in particular I took her to, it was at the wound clinic at
Uh,
Duke, and she was in so much pain. So when I went to that appointment to find out the information, it was the same place that I took my mom to when she was in so much pain.
oh,
So I
Mm.
had to relive that moment too. But
yeah.
I mentioned that because the fact that I went to that appointment, that helped me to quickly be able to make a decision
Right.
Hmm.
about this is what I need to do. If I didn't, I don't know if I would have been able to make that decision. And I know that I didn't want to go through what I saw my mom go through.
No,
I
you
knew,
didn't.
yeah.
I've seen
So,
a cancer wound, and I know what you saw,
yeah,
Hmm.
and it's devastating what
yeah,
cancer does to the body. And I'm
Hmm.
just glad that you decided, to go that route, because I feel like it would have been you saw the signs of what your mother
yeah.
was going through happening with you,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
it's.
and the difference between your aunts and your mother, I mean, getting
Hmm.
the surgery versus not getting the surgery.
Did
And
they even give her that option to, like, to
They
go?
did, but they asked my mom, but the doctor said we called it in time, so you don't have to. And she
oh
trusted her
yeah.
doctor because
No.
she had been going to her for years.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I
I
mean,
would have had beef with her too. I would have had beef with her too.
it
I would
was
have
I
really
can't
felt
even
some
tell
way.
you how many lumps she removed. Like I said, until she was diagnosed with breast cancer one day. Is
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, even when she was going through all the lumpectomies,
Yeah.
did they offer it to her way back before
No,
she?
no, they
Oh,
did.
they. She
They're
Hmm.
just
see
like, oh, we could just take it. We just take it.
Yeah.
see. That's, oh man.
Yeah,
Well,
she's been
God
dealing
bless
with it for
you, and
years.
God bless your mother. I'm
Hmm.
sorry she, passed away, and I'm glad you're still here, and you had the decision that you could make. It's wow.
Yeah. And something, that really, really kind of broke my heart last week because I actually was preparing to speak in front of people to tell my story
Yeah.
a week ago, and
Hmm.
I was practicing, and my daughter was listening to me practice, and she asked me,
Hmm.
"Mom, am I going to get breast cancer?"
Wow.
And she's 13. She's going to be 14 in a week.
Oh,
And I said, "Well, we don't have to worry about it right now, but it might be something that you might want to consider, the double mastectomy later
yeah.
on."
She's high
And
risk.
and
Yeah.
like, yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
I told, reminded her what her grandma Ellen went through, and I said, but we're not gonna worry about it right now, but we're
Right
gonna
now.
keep an eye on it, and you just that's something you have to think about when you get older. But
Yeah.
that, for her to have to worry about that at such a young age.
I
Yeah,
know.
my mouth is dropped open right now. Like, what were good? I can for her to even ask you that. Like, were you even prepared for that question, or based off of what you've gone through, were you prepared for that question?
Well, my daughter talks to me about a lot of things. It's some things I'm like, "Woo, Lord, you need to where your daddy at for this conversation?" So that wasn't too bad.
But you
That was
gave her an
that
honest
was
answer, though. You
that
really
wasn't
did.
too bad because she's told me she's asked me way worse things than that.
Yeah,
So
you gave her the
Well,
real.
and and it's the truth though. Like
yeah,
it
A good answer.
it
hmm
will be something she has to worry about. It will
Yeah,
be something she'll need to consider in her
yeah,
life when she gets older.
and I
yeah.
Um,
just pray she makes the right decision.
yeah.
Well, she has her mother as an
Mm-hmm.
example, a strong woman
Yeah,
who made that decision. So she does have a base, you
right.
know, to base her decision on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she'll make a good decision because she knows what her grandmother went through. She saw, you know, how you took control of your body. So yeah, she'll be okay.
Right.
Hmm.
Yes, I.
And who knows what technology will be available and what other options will
Right.
be available in those coming years. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah. Yep. So, but yeah, I think
And I
I
see you
told
getting
y'all
your
everything.
kudos in chat. My girl
Oh,
has been through, but has remained positive through it all.
oh.
hmm
That's
Let me
beautiful.
see. Was that from trivia?
It was, yep.
Uh,
Coco put that this was inspiration. George, I don't know who. Look, I ain't gonna call out his whole government. I'd be like, who the hell is Brandon? But let me
oh, I
but
see
he
now.
says this story blesses my soul every time I hear it. Yeah, this
Oh, thank
girl.
y'all so much for
Is
coming
this your
in and
husband,
supporting.
Brandon?
That's
No, that's
trivia
Trivia husband, the big
husband.
headed husband
Oh,
I was
oh,
talking about earlier.
yeah, he call
Hey,
you
big
big
head.
head. Hey, big
Yeah.
head.
That's my nigga. I knew him since
Welcome,
childhood. We went to the
welcome,
same church,
welcome.
honey.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah, I said it's a Southern high school reunion.
Let's
it's
Okay.
go.
right, right. Good to meet all of you guys. It's so
Yes.
wonderful.
It's so nice to meet y'all too.
Well, trivia now. First, now, other than the QR code that again I'm sharing here on slide two, you all should be able to see it, and make sure you scan that QR code. More reason to sell. Like we had, like my Camille says in the chat, more reason to donate. Y'all heard Crystal's story. Donate to
Yeah.
her, and also because she is getting up at the butt crack of dawn tomorrow morning to go and do this breast cancer awareness walk on behalf of
Hmm.
her organization. And I want to also say, so shout out to your support system that you had. You mentioned
Hmm.
your husband, your
Hmm.
dad, your
Hmm.
grandma, your aunt Selena.
Parents
Yeah.
of our
Like, sh-
students.
My
shout out
students,
to
my
all of
co-workers,
them.
yes.
And you didn't have to tell your story, and I'm glad that you did, and I hope you continue,
Yeah.
to spread that word because women, the incidence of breast cancer is so high. Um, Women need to hear these stories and know, that what their options are, that other people have gone through it, and we
Right.
can do hard things
Hmm.
because that diagnosis. I mean, you didn't have cancer, but you went through the things like almost like if you did. You didn't have the chemotherapy and everything, but everybody's story is different, and I'm telling you, to hear that word is just, it strikes
Hmm.
fear in your heart. I mean, it
Right.
really does change you. It turns you around 180 degrees. Like nothing matters but trying to survive after that point, and your
Right.
family
Right.
and your loved ones. Nothing material means anything to you
Yeah.
anymore, and it stays
Right.
that way after you've been through what you've been through. You realize that nothing that you own other than your health and your family is important. I don't care
Right.
what it is. Like your house could fall down tomorrow, but that wouldn't even be so bad. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, you'll make it through that.
Right.
Right.
Well,
And
I said
again, y'all, tatas can be replaced.
right.
You can't
Uh,
be replaced.
And I just remember saying to myself, we all are gonna leave here from
One
some,
day,
but it's for me, it's not gonna be breast cancer.
not right now.
I
It's
know
not
that's
gonna be.
right.
That's not gonna be my my cause of death. You know.
Right,
Okay.
right, and that's a good thing to know.
Yeah.
That you've staved off that diagnosis, as hard as it may have been to make that
Right.
decision. I elected to have a double mastectomy because even though I didn't have the chances of developing it in the other breast,
Right.
I knew I wasn't going to get reconstruction. So I'm just like, girl, gonna cut
Right.
them both off.
Look,
I ain't gonna
yeah,
walk around with one. Just take them both.
take them both. Let me
Well,
just go on and
Yeah,
and you
live
know
my little
what?
life.
All three of my family members that did, they've only had one removed, but my
Mm-hmm.
aunt says all the time, I should have just got both of them. She
Both
say that
of them.
all the time. And
Yeah,
I said, yeah, I said, get rid of both of them.
girl.
I don't
Look,
want
I lost
Look,
10 pounds when they took mine off. So you
okay,
know how I was feeling. I'm like,
them.
get them both, girl. Get them both. Cause them things was humongous anyway. I don't miss them.
okay. I know that's right.
Sure don't.
Well,
Yeah.
Top
Crystal,
top.
if people want to know more about your organization, where can they find you?
So, and my page is public. It's Ken, Ken, and then An like AND, and it's Chris, CHRYS, and Mitchell. So they can go on my page. It should be posted up there with that flyer and the link, and I'll post it, when we get off of this call, so you won't have to search too far for it if they want to donate. And again, it's our sorority, and we are all educators.
How far is the walk?
Um, I I don't think it's that far. It's just like down American Tobacco,
Oh,
but it
oh,
kind of goes into the neighborhoods too. Like where
yeah.
the Durham Bulls baseball stadium is.
I'm sorry, y'all are walking from the Durham Bulls, through Durham Bulls Park through the American Tobacco. You see here in my face telling me that's not far. You forgot I'm from Durham, Sue Honey, right? You
Well, look,
She
when
said it ain't
we
far.
walked it last year. So when we've done it in the past, it's been different places. To me, it didn't seem too far, but I don't know the exact distance. But it was, to me, it didn't seem.
It ain't that
look,
far, Auntie.
we have a she talking about in the chat 3 to 5 miles. Like 3 to 5 miles is not far for who? Y'all better get up on my face, honey. But I'm so glad you're doing the walk. I am so glad you're walking for a good cause. And I would walk too if I was in the area, but walk and complain. But unfortunately, I'm out of town. But I see it's like it says it start. The location will be at the Durham Bulls Athletic Park,
Uh-huh.
4409 Blackwell Street in Durham, North Carolina. Registration starts at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m., and then the walk or run. I would
We'll
walk,
be
honey, three to
walking.
five.
We're walking.
Hello, because I would walk 3 to 5 miles. No, I won't be. But that will start at 9 a.m. Yeah, 8 a.m. for registration and 9 a.m. for Black people. Do you hear me? 8 a.m. for registration and
8-ish.
9 a.m. for the walk. Do not get there at 10 o'clock trying to register and walk.
That's early. That's too early for you.
That's not that early. Walk started much earlier than that. Yeah, that's not that early. And how's the weather? Y'all having good weather over there?
Today wasn't too bad. So it's getting a little fallish right now.
Yeah.
So the weather just keeps changing though. One day
I,
it's hot, one day it's cool. I'm like, that's the weather where everybody getting sick because the
mm,
weather keeps changing. So just it needs to be consistent.
hmm.
But that's how North Carolina is. So
Hmm.
that's North Carolina for you. But
Are
yeah.
you doing the walk too, Trivia?
She better, and she part of that sorority.
She,
She better get
she
her ass
is.
up bright and early.
Well, look, Trivia made our shirts for us to wear.
Oh,
Shout
okay.
out to Trivia. But I tell you, I actually used to get on Trivia's nerves so bad, honey. I was like Trivia's annoying little because, long story short, me, Trivia, and her big-headed husband, we were all actually in chorus together. So,
Okay.
so yes,
But she's
so there's a
walking.
lot of history there, honey. But Trivia's my girl. I used to annoy her just like I was her annoying little brother, didn't I, girl? Didn't I? You can tell the truth.
You said, "Well, you can tell the truth."
Look, you see, she said, "And you did get on my nerves, but you know I love you."
we understand totally, Trivia. Okay.
Look, and her husband, I'll be there in spirit for the walk. Look, any support counts.
Oh, wait a minute. You not walking, Brandon? Hold up.
He said that is too early for him, honey. Absolutely not.
Yeah, so look, and Christian, I don't Christian stroller in the attic. So we'll see how far we get with this walk, cause he might get mad and feel like I
Oh,
can't. We might get we might get there and can't get back, cause he ahead of.
he got to stay home with the girls. Okay. Well, we'll let
Okay,
him
well,
decide
he
that
got a
one.
good excuse. Good
Yeah.
job. Good job. Well, Crystal, I have to tell you again, boo, thank you again for coming on and pretty much the bravery, the vulnerability, and sharing your story with us.
Yes.
And I
Thank
hope your
you.
story inspires someone to go and, stay on top of their health, get
Right.
Yes.
checked out. And if they want to come on and tell their own story, I hope we are here because we still got a few days left in Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
That's
Talk to
right.
some of your people in the group if one of them has a story they want to tell.
Okay.
You know, we can definitely do that. And as you can see, we're time flexible. If
Mhm.
one of them wants to come on, let them know what we're doing for breast cancer month, and yeah, they can come on too.
Okay. I will definitely let them know. And like I said, thank you so much for having me and
No,
being
thank
flexible with
you,
time with this teacher.
thank you, girl, thank you.
You are most welcome. Now I know you got to get up bright and early, but if you want to, you are more than welcome to stay for the tea, cause we gonna jump right into the tea time, honey.
Oh, we got
Okay.
some tea.
Yes, honey. Well, our first piece of tea that we have, honey, it looks like Jay Z just actually got a little bit of a win. But you remember that boy that's supposed to been suing him that he keeps saying that it's his son, Ramir
Yes.
Satterway.
Hmm.
So I have this link here from All Hip Hop. And y'all should see where it says, this is an exclusive from All Hip Hop. Jay Z dodges restraining order from alleged son's godmother amid Nicki Minaj's support.
Oh
You
my
know
God.
girl. You see her crazy ass always involved in something that she don't need to be doing
It ain't none of
everything.
her business.
Girl, doing everything but being at home with that husband and that son.
We're taking her medication. She ain't doing none of it.
Oh Lord, she hate Jay Z and Rock Nation bad.
Honey, she want them gone, honey. Well, Jay Z emerged victorious in a California courtroom on Friday, October 24th, after a federal judge denied an emergency restraining order request filed by Lily Coley, the godmother of the man who claims to be his son, clearing the way for the rapper to pursue sanctions in a long running legal feud. U.S. District Judge Sherilyn Peace Garnett rejected Coley's attempt to block what she described as a retaliatory sanctions hearing, marking another legal win for Jay Z in a case that has dragged on for years. Coley has asked the court to freeze proceedings, claiming she was being targeted for her advocacy on behalf of Ramir Satterwhite, who alleges Jay Z is his biological father. The judge found no legal basis for his emergency relief. The ruling allows Jay Z's legal team to move forward with efforts to penalize Coley over what he has called decades long harassment, according to court filings. The case has seen repeated filings, procedural disputes, and a failed attempt by Coley to win a default judgment earlier this year. Coley, who once served as Satterwhite's legal guardian, has been at the center of the paternity saga since Ramir's mother became too ill to continue the legal fight and died. She has accused Jay Z of using his wealth and legal firepower to avoid DNA testing and accountability. In her latest filing, Coley sought a temporary restraining order and an order to show cause, hoping to stop the sanctions hearing. But Judge Garnett declined to intervene, a common outcome when plaintiffs cannot meet the high threshold for immediate court action. The failed restraining order comes months after Satterwhite dropped a separate paternity suit. Jay Z responded by formally entering the California case and asserted that the legal campaign against him is baseless and abusive. Court records show that in 2022, a New Jersey judge barred Coley and Satterwhite from filing new lawsuits in that state without prior approval, citing repeated failed attempts to litigate the paternity issue. Coley's filings have drawn attention from Nicki Minaj, who publicly backed Satterwhite and accused Jay Z of trying to silence him. Nicki Minaj has used her social media platforms to criticize the rapper's alleged actions, saying he tried to frame Satterwhite and calling him quote unquote weak. Nicki Minaj also claimed that Beyonce is preventing Jay Z from acknowledging Satterwhite, calling it Jay Z's quote unquote biggest secret. She has also alleged that the rapper has interfered with her music career and legal matters. Despite Minaj's public support, Coley's legal maneuver failed to convince the court. Child, y'all don't leave that man alone. That is not. I, they are, baby. It's. I don't have words. I mean, they are keep. They have tried to sue Jay Z so much to the point that New Jersey said, "Look, y'all done did this shit so much, y'all can't file no more cases here. Not in New Jersey. You're gonna have to go somewhere else to do it." So then he had
Golly,
to,
he
like,
done that what about 5, 6 times already? Dang.
like they said, "Okay, enough is enough. Not in New Jersey. It's too much. Too much." Child. Well, speaking of a legal win, honey, let's talk about ASAP Rally. Child. Because you remember how he filed a civil lawsuit against ASAP Rocky. And y'all should see where I have here by way of hot new hip hop. ASAP Rally secures a major legal win in defamatory lawsuit against ASAP Rocky and Joe Tacopina. So he said, motherfucker, if I can get you one way, I'll get you another. So ASAP Rally did lose his initial lawsuit from former friend ASAP Rocky, but he's on the right track. Oh, excuse me, he's on the right track right now in regards to his defamation battle. The ex ASAP mob member pursued this in early September, receiving some major pushback and warnings from Los Angeles County Judge Randolph M. Hammock. Relly is also going after Joe Tacopina in the case. In fact, he's the main target. Joe, who helped acquit Rocky from the assault case, labeled Relly a liar and a gold digger. The attorney attempted to dismiss by countering with an anti-slap motion. Per Courthouse News Service, it's a legal maneuver used to quickly dismiss lawsuits that are aimed at chilling free speech and public participation. But Judge Randolph M. Hammock denied Tacopina's filing on Thursday. Him saying these things about Relly to outlets such as TMZ doesn't fall under anti-slap. Those would be protected by the litigation privilege. But the statements that Mr. Efron Relly is making were not made in that context. Is this word spin? This was spin, a lawyer spinning for his clients, Hammock said. Tacopina's charge statements were made to shape the public opinion, not to achieve the objects of litigation in any way. So, with this being the case now, the defamation case charges forward. A jury trial is tentatively scheduled for January of 2026. Tacopina also said Rayleigh's previous assault suit against Rocky, he's a failed associate, ex-associate of Rocky's, and he's jealous. He was trying to get money from Rocky. He wanted Rocky to support him and made it clear. There were repeated attempts where he tried to ask for money in lieu of not causing problems for Rocky. That's what he said. We have all of this memorialized in text messages and otherwise, so it's an extortion. Child, just a whole bunch of unnecessary mess, honey.
Ooh,
Child.
all them ASAPs.
Exactly. They need to just get out of our face ASAP, honey. Just take us out the group chat ASAP.
Right now, baby,
So,
because they just be manipulating and suing and back and forth, and oh my God.
well, and I'm guessing the issue is, and I'm guessing what makes making this go forward, where Joe Tacopina was talking to TMZ and he labeled Relly a liar and a gold digger. So that's where the defamation can, because I guess stuff like that can, especially in his industry, if they think he's like a gold digger, if they think he's a liar, it could definitely ruin opportunity for him. Even though, I mean, I haven't heard any music from Relly in quite some time, but still, if he wanted to make some, he should still have the right to be able to do so. So,
Well, I mean, if he said that he would accept financial compensation for him not to do this. It's sort of sounding gold diggish to me.
Touche. Well, I ain't saying he a gold digger, but he ain't fucking with no broke lawyer. So, but this next story, it's because remember, I feel like there's that I said this before with that guy Doug Martin. Even though I'm not familiar with who he is or what type of sport he played or what team he played for, I feel like there's an attempt, and TMZ is helping with like kind of spreading this narrative about him being crazy and stuff. And this next story kind of confirms what I was thinking. Because what they report, and I just think it's just so irresponsible. TMZ should be, they should be ashamed of themselves. But you also see where it says Doug Martin reportedly leapt from second story of rehab center months before death. You see, why is that? You see what I mean? I don't even think I really need to read much of this story because it's really irrelevant because he was killed by the police allegedly. But now you see you see what they're trying to do. This is why I be thinking TMZ is the ops a lot of times
Yeah,
because what are you doing, TMZ Harvey? Get your people. I know you the head, and I know you usually don't play like, and I know you usually let like little bits and pieces of your white supremacy slip out from time to time. I know you try so well to hide it, but allegedly, because you know he liked to sue and he's a lawyer, allegedly. But still, like this is so. I'm like, girl.
that's victim blaming. The cops shouldn't have killed him. He called for a mental health crisis, and he was killed by the cops. What he did here, that has nothing to do with the fact that he was murdered trying to get help. Yeah, this is not good.
Mm-hmm. TMZ, y'all need to be ashamed of yourselves.
A shame.
But unfortunately, I know they not, and unfortunately, they're like one of the most accurate. Other than this story right here, they're usually the most accurate way to get news. And if I could go to any other place other than TMZ to get my top stories, I most certainly would. But they not doing it like them. But again, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Well, and speaking of look, another TMZ story that I need to talk about. Y'all remember when we just talked about Jelly Roll, honey? How Jelly Roll was talking about the cheating on his wife was a huge mistake, honey. Like it was just some terminal illness or something that he had rather than a poor choice that he made. Now, well, his wife, Bunny XO, honey, she had to pretty much get some trolls together online. So y'all should see here where it says by way of TMZ, Bunny XO claps back at haters' comment on Jelly Roll cheating revelation. So Bunny XO doesn't take nothing from no one and is clapping back at a hater, shaming her for staying with Jelly Roll after he cheated on her. And it says to check out the screenshot. The interaction went down on Instagram after a troll posted they no longer can look up to Bunny after she take a cheating man back, adding they're super bummed.
Get out of
And
here. She got to leave her man to please you. Baby, look
she
here.
she said, "Yes, I am your fan. You do what I say. Leave his fat ass."
Wow. The nerve.
Well, and the comment says, so it says, "Oh my dear, your husband had an affair on you. You took him back and have sung perfection since. I'm super bummed. We can't look up to you now. Where are your friends? How can anyone support this? Dear Lord, provide Bunny the strength to hop away." And then gonna put two bunny emojis. So,
Wow.
Bunny, she replied, "It actually takes a stronger woman to face pain head on, do the work, and rebuild with the man she loves, instead of running or gossiping. Growth isn't weakness, it's grace. But not everyone's built for that kind of strength. I pray you never have to feel that pain because you're judging another woman's life." And then she's gonna put a heart.
Yeah. She said it cuter than I would. Cuss that person out. Like, how dare you?
Well, this next story. So y'all know how I always say that 50 Cent is my man, and he's my husband in my head.
Yes, we
Well,
know.
and I know you tend to call me delusional because of this, which I totally understand. But
Uh-huh.
when I tell you I am not as delusional as this next story, honey, because there's this woman who truly believes that Eminem was her husband, and that led her to make some very bad decisions.
Oh.
So I have this link from All Hip Hop. Do you see where it says Eminem dragged into bizarre arrest as woman says he'd cover her breakfast tab?
No, you're not this delusional.
I'm not that bad. Like I know our love affair is in my head, and I'm totally okay with that. I love it here. But this is crazy. Well, a woman landed in handcuffs at a Florida diner after insisting that Eminem, yes, that Eminem, was her husband and would pick up her $27.55 tab. You heard it right, 27 American dollars and 55 cents. But okay. So, 54-year-old Jennifer Kleber was taken into custody earlier this week at Daryl's Doggone Good Diner in Silver Springs after allegedly refusing to pay for her breakfast and beverages. According to a Marion County Sheriff's Office report obtained by TMZ, Kleber told deputies she was married to the Detroit rap icon and believed he would cover the cost of her meal, which included French toast, a bacon and cheese dish, soda, and chocolate milk. Girl, how you get soda and chocolate milk in one? I know her damn stomach was singing "Lose Yourself" by Eminem, honey. Well, Eminem has quote unquote unlimited money, Kleber reportedly told a responding corporal, insisting the superstar rapper had paid for her food before. Restaurant staff recognized Kleber from prior visits where she allegedly tried similar tactics to avoid paying. When law enforcement arrived, she only had $10 in her possession, less than half the amount needed to settle her bill. Clever was arrested on the scene and charged with defrauding an innkeeper, a misdemeanor offense that applies when someone obtains food or lodging with the intent to avoid payment. She was booked into the Marion County Jail. Despite Deborah's claims, Eminem is not married. The 53-year-old Grammy winner has been linked to his longtime stylist, Katrina Malata, though he remains notoriously private about his personal life. And remember, we talked about him and Christina on the show here. It's not Christina, excuse me, Katrina. Katrina Mulatto. That's who he's with. The incident adds to a long list of strange fan interactions involving the rapper, who has faced everything from break-ins to obsessive admirers over the years. His global fame and decades-long career may have made him a frequent magnet for overzealous followers. According to the Marion County Sheriff's Office, Kleber was booked Monday, October 20th, and remains in custody. And keep her crazy ass in there, honey. Keep her crazy ass in there, honey. Maybe Eminem go visit her in jail and send her an edible arrangement.
That is crazy.
So yeah, I don't think I'll be this delusional. I'm not gonna go to a restaurant and be like, my man. Curtis 50 Cent Johnson said he's going to pay for this meal because I don't think my father, the inventor of toaster strudel, will be too happy to hear about this. You know what? I don't think she'll gets that Mean Girls reference. So, hi, favorite Taurus. I know you get that reference.
Mm.
Well, so do y'all remember Danny Masterson and how his nasty ass is currently in jail for those rape charges and stuff?
Yes.
So, do you remember the girl he was with? Her name is Bijou Phillips. I don't know if y'all remember her.
No.
Well, anyway, we about to learn about her today, honey, because Bijou Phillips said, I don't want nothing to do with that motherfucker. I don't want his name. I don't want my kids to have his name. Absolutely not. Get it out of here. And I have this link from TMZ here. Y'all should see where it says Bijou Phillips asks court to remove Masterson from daughter's name. Judge rules ex is single.
Hmm.
So, Bijou Phillips is officially cutting her ties with Danny Masterson and her daughter's ties too, especially when it comes to her last name. TMZ's got the docs. Bijou first filed to change her 11-year-old daughter's name from Fiona Frances Masterson to Fiona Frances Phillips to scrub any link to her convicted ex. She's just waiting on a judge to sign off. It's a big move, especially since Bijou stood by Danny. through both his criminal trial and retrial before filing for divorce a week after he got slammed with 30 years to life in prison for 2 counts of forcible rape in 2023. He's currently locked up at North Kern State Prison in Delano, California. Bajou and Danny were married for 11 years after tying the knot in 2011. These days, she's moved on and is dating businessman Jamie Mazur. Mm-mm, I guess. Oh, and there's an update here. It says a judge restored Bajou and Danny to the status of single persons Friday afternoon. Okay, so they are officially single. And I guess does that mean that the daughter name is Fiona uh Phillips now?
I
I
guess
guess.
so.
So, yeah, that's that on that child. Well, so y'all remember when we were talking about that NBA pro where they got all caught up with by the FBI with the illegal gambling and stuff, and then we read like some we heard that the mob was involved, and again, Auntie Derek's daytime tea respects all people and wants no smoke with the mob, honey. We are just reading what's in the news. And so, but there's actually a ex mobster who's talking about it. So I have this link here from TMZ. There's actually a 3 minute video, but instead of playing the video, I'm just going to read the article. But you also see where it says here ex mobster blames NBA's growing partnership with gambling platforms for arrest. So now this is very interesting because you remember it was actually a gambling platform that kind of bailed LeBron James out from that little lawsuit that he had with that Lakers fan
Mhm.
who it was prize picks. But anyway, um, former mafia captain Michael Francesi, who once ran his own crew with the Colombo crime family, says the NBA should blame itself for Thursday's shocking Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and Damon Jones arrests. And I just have to say, honey, a crew named the Colombo crime family, oh baby, they sound like they don't play. That sounds like a group of men who don't play. But anyway, the ex mobster explained to Harvey and Charles on TMZ Live that the league's growing relationship with various gambling platforms have invited all kinds of trouble for its employees. Francesi told the guys that by partnering with the betting sites, they've sent a "Hey, it's okay, you can gamble" message to players and coaches throughout the league. The more access you have to gambling, the more people are going to get involved in it, he said, and the more people are going to get in trouble. There's no question about it. You can't give people access like that. According to Francesi, pro athletes and even college athletes use gambling as an extension of their competitive nature, and when their respective leagues appear to sign off on wide range wagering by teaming up with betting forums, it opens the doors for headaches. In fact, Francesi, who gave up the mob life following his stint in prison in 1994, said he wasn't surprised at all to see the feds announce the bombshell allegations against the NBAers this week. This happens all the time, he said. It hasn't changed over the past 30 years. Billups has been accused of helping multiple mafia families make cash off of rigged poker games. Rosier, meanwhile, is alleged to have influenced prop bets by pulling himself from a 2023 game with a fake injury. As for Jones, prosecutors say he was taken into custody for being involved in both the illegal card scheme and the insider sports betting conspiracy. Child, just mess, honey. But you know what? He is absolutely right. And this is why I'm actually I'm personally against those betting apps. I think you give people easy access like that to do something like that, they're going to do it and they're going to do a lot of it. So, I listen, I see how stuff escalates. I'm not a fan. Mm-mm. That's why when I learned that North Carolina first started, because I think it was just last year they started making those betting apps just legal in the state of North Carolina, and I hate that they did it. But that's that on that child. Well, speaking of those people that were arrested for all those betting poker games and NBA scandals and stuff like that. So Stephen a fucking Coon Smith, he actually said something along the lines of this was nothing but retaliation from Trump or Trump's administration or something like that. They're saying pretty much Cash Patel only did that because pretty much to be Trump's running boy or some he said. I'm paraphrasing, of course. Well, Cash Patel and his weird looking ass, and he always looks so surprised, honey. I just wish he would tell us what he's seen. But he actually responded to that. Responded to Stephen fucking Coon Smith. So I have a clip that's about 40 seconds, y'all, and I apologize in advance. We got to watch the scary looking man and his scary looking eyes. But give me one second. Y'all should see where I shared this TMZ article. FBI Director Cash Patel tortures Stephen A. Smith over Trump NBA comment. So give me one second. Let me share my screen. Oh, if I can share the right screen, that'll work. Okay. So let's let this load.
By the way, this was so wild. Stephen A. Smith, the sports commentator, suggested that this was revenge from the president for all the kind of left wing activism of the NBA. Your response to that, 15 seconds.
I'm the FBI director. I decide which arrests to conduct and which not to conduct. That may be the single dumbest thing I've ever heard out of anyone in modern history, and I live most of my time in Washington, D.C. It's right up there with Adam Schiff. We arrest people for crimes.
All right, Director Patel, wonderful to have you on tonight. Thank you very much.
Ciao. What was that girl that I wish I knew that trans girl's name? The one who like goes viral a lot, and she has that clip that says, "Girl, shut the fuck up! You thought you ate that?"
Exactly.
Like,
Y'all,
girl, bye.
I'm finally back. I was having some audio issues for the, ooh, Lord, I was struggling.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
I'm back, but just in time to say, Patel is a bitch.
Yes, and we have a comment saying he always looks like he needs to pass gas. Okay, let it out,
That
honey.
part too. And
Drink some milk.
and almost had the nerve for me to defend Stephen Kunzman. Almost. Although both of their responses were stupid.
I would never, honey.
Look, I
But
said almost,
right,
almost.
let his funny looking ass get him, honey, get him for me.
And I was like, and you didn't eat that. No, you didn't. You didn't eat that at all.
Well, gorgeous. I got three more stories left. I know you hate to hear the last call announcement. Well, this next story I have by way of all hip hop, honey. Um, yeah, Summer Walker says Lil Meech is she said, he done left me, honey, and he is just
Girl, girl, bye. Girl.
Well, you all should see where it says here by way of all hip hop. Summer Walker says Lil Meech's life is terrible post breakup. So I'm gonna share a
Mm.
little bit of a clip. She's actually talking to Speedy Mormon. Yep, because it starts off by saying Summer Walker didn't mince words when revisiting the viral incident that ended her relationship with Lil Meech, calling the actor's life terrible and mocking his now infamous excuse. During her appearance on 360 with Speedy, the R&B singer addressed the 2023 surveillance footage that showed the BMF star escorting a woman into her apartment with groceries in hand. The clip ignited widespread cheating rumors and ultimately led to the couple's breakup. And let's see what Summer had to say about it. Give me one second.
I want to talk about an unfortunate situation for you that led to an incredible line and meme for us as fans and viewers, and that was, "I can't help my cousin bring the bags in the house."
Yes.
What do you remember about that? Incredible line. What do you remember about a moment like that? Was it infuriating for you?
It was. I was really ignorant, but hey.
Did you laugh at it, or were you like in too deep?
No, I was like, that's trifling as fuck. I literally don't even have to say anything on that because his life is terrible now. So, yeah.
Mm-mm. She said she ain't got to say a thing because his life is terrible now. I'm sure it is terrible to, have a room of people, like a lot of people saying that you stink. Because that's all you hear about Lil Mitch. They always say he stink. That's what I heard. Allegedly, allegedly. They say Lil Mitch, anytime he
Really?
walk into a room, yes, girl, they say, honey, you can smell him coming from 2 miles away, honey. He be
What, like
stank.
musty?
Must, honey. Stink smell like
Well,
ass.
well,
Ass and sadness.
well, didn't he lost his job, right? Didn't 50 Cent take his job?
That's a good question. And I have not I haven't seen the latest season of BMF. I don't know why I didn't watch. I guess I wasn't interested because of all the mess that was going on.
Yeah, I thought when he fell out with the daddy, he was like, and yeah, you and I'm not doing the show no more.
Maybe. That might have been what happened, girl. I wish I could tell you.
Mm.
I stopped paying because it's just so much unnecessary mess. Your dad just got out of jail for a long time, and now y'all just going back and forth. Well, I guess because they were baited by Master Troll 50 Cent. So I mean, yeah, the cold world, cold world.
And if that's the truth, then why would she date? Well, you know what? Maybe she stink too. Oh, allegedly. Because
Ooh,
I'm like, how you date somebody that stink?
girl, she had COVID. She ain't had no sense of smell. Allegedly, allegedly. So that's how she was able to get through it, honey. She didn't smell the must. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Because you remember she's very anti-vax, right?
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
just saying. One plus one is two. Well, so now this next story is something. So Money Long, like anytime that we hear about her and it has nothing to do with music, it's usually not a good story. And I hate this for her because she's such a talented, very talented girl. But I have this link here from All Hip Hop. And you all should see where it said this is an exclusive with All Hip Hop. Ungrateful Money Long accused of stiffing managers Shaka Zulu, Jeff Dixon out of millions.
Mm.
And
So
that isn't Shaka Zulu Queen Latifah's longtime partner? Like business
I
partner?
believe so. But don't quote me. I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe so. Well, Money Long is facing explosive allegations in a new federal lawsuit claiming the Grammy winning singer refused to pay her longtime managers hundreds of thousands of dollars after they helped relaunch her career and secure key deals. The lawsuit by Ebony Sun Entertainment Inc., run by industry veterans Shaka Zulu and Jeff Dixon, who once managed Ludacris and founded the legendary Disturbing the Peace label, accuses Long and her companies of breach of contract, unjust enrichment, and fraud-like business practices. According to the filing, Long, born Priscilla Renee Hamilton, entered into a verbal management deal with Ebony Sun at the 2023 Essence Festival, agreeing to pay the industry standard 20% of her gross revenue plus expenses. The managers say they guided her through the rollout of her 2024 album Revenge, which featured the hit Made for Me and helped earn her a Grammy. The complaint alleges that Long and her affiliated companies, Supergiant Records LLC, Money Long Inc., Money World Inc., and White Rose Garden LLC, paid commissions for more than a year before abruptly halting payments in October of 2024 and terminated the relationship in January of 2025. Money Long shamelessly reneged on her promises to pay plaintiff the agreed upon customary percentage of revenue she earned and only earned because plaintiff assisted in obtaining those engagements. This stunning display of ungratefulness and lack of integrity compels plaintiff's pursuit of the claims in the complaint to obtain that in which rightfully belongs to the plaintiff, the complaint states. Ebony Sun claims it generated more than $5 million in total revenue for Long, including major performance dates at the Aretha Franklin Theater, Sirius XM Atlanta, and the So Def Show, as well as publishing the songwriting deals with Shinsia and Tiwa Savage. The company alleges more than $612,000 remain unpaid, including $458,600 in commissions and $1,053,698 in expenses. The manager also accuses Long of using her network of business entities to shield access and hide income, arguing the corporate structure should be ignored so all of her companies can be held jointly liable. The lawsuit seeks full payment of commissions and expenses, a judicial declaration confirming the 20% verbal agreement, and the appointment of a special master to audit Long's financial records. Baby, they say she is money laundering, honey. So
But wait, why would he only this long in the game? Why would he only have a verbal agreement? I feel like that's weird
you asking the right questions. That is weird.
because I'm like verbal agreement, huh?
Look, we have a comment saying, is her money short now? No, that money is split all into them different businesses, honey, and probably to
Okay,
some overseas accounts, honey.
okay, because I was like, damn, when you was reading off all the accounts, I was like, where she got all them companies? Golly.
You know why? Allegedly, allegedly.
Allegedly, allegedly, huh? Hmm.
Look, her
I'm
name ain't Money Long
speechless.
for a reason, honey. Look, it's in our face, right?
Look, I'm still trying to figure out. He been in the game too long to have what a verbal agreement. What? 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 I
Hmm.
need Joe, Jane Hancock. Excuse me. I need you to write. We need to write this down. Mm,
Hmm.
interesting. That is very interesting.
Well, our last story of the day, well, of the night rather, because this is a nighttime show. But our last story of the night. So I don't know if you all had a chance to see that new Kiki Palmer produced trailer for a new show that she has coming out in regards to
Yes.
like it's like a HBCU that has an Asian
Mhm.
girl like being the star of it, something like that.
Mhm.
Well, of course, Kiki has gotten a lot of like backlash for that, and she responded to the criticism. So you all should see where I have here by way of all hip hop. Kiki Palmer defends Southern Fried Rice series after cultural representation criticism. So Kiki Palmer addressed backlash Wednesday night on October 22nd after her new show Southern Fried Rice drew criticism for its portrayal of cultural identity and setting within a historically black college. The actress and media mogul posted a video of a lengthy statement on social media responding to what she described as some controversial feedback following the October 22nd premiere of the coming of age series on her digital platform, Key TV. The show follows Coco Johnson, a Korean American girl raised by Southern black parents, as she navigates life at a fictional HBCU in Atlanta. Now, Southern Fried Rice was created by Nakia Stevens, and while I can't speak to her inspiration for the show, I can speak to her dedication as a creative, Kiki Palmer said in her video. Critics online questioned the decision to center the show around an Asian lead character in a traditionally black educational space, with some accusing Palmer of misrepresentation, excuse me, of misrepresenting. Why is that word beating my ass today, honey? While some accusing Palmer of misrepresenting black culture and diluting the mission of Key TV. One user wrote, wasn't Key TV built to spotlight black creators? So why would a black woman need to tell a story of an Asian girl going to an HBCU? Um, Palmer, however, stood firm on the show's purpose and the broader mission of her platform. What you like is subjective, but the support of black creatives is not, and it's not a task that Key TV takes on with pride, she said. Because if you want to be a creative, you have to be able to create, and that takes money. And it's Key TV's mission to find the funds for you to be in practice, for you to experience trial and error, and for you to take your projects off the page and get more than one chance to do it in action. She also emphasized the importance of representation behind the camera, not just on screen. As a professional tap dancer and court jester for most of my life, not complaining, I can tell you that it's imperative people of color have jobs outside of just being the talent or player on the team, she wrote. It's my mission with Key TV to help fund and support the creators of color behind the scenes, giving them a chance to tell their own story. Palmer highlighted the show's Atlanta setting and its diverse cast and crew as part of its authenticity. She encouraged viewers to watch the series before forming opinions and to allow space for creative storytelling, and allow space for creative storytelling that doesn't always follow expected paths. And then it says to check out some of the other reactions to the show below and stuff like that, where people were pretty much, um, giving their opinions about what they. I haven't seen the trailer. I honestly have no interest in. And to be completely honest, like once I heard what the show was about, I mean, I would just say, yeah. I mean, I don't really
Yeah,
don't.
I didn't know if you had seen this when I sent it to you yesterday.
I did, girl. I was on the
No,
road, child.
early this morning. I think I sent it. Sometimes I be up early sending you stuff.
No, honey, like Hammy say, a bitch was on the road, honey, like a trucker. So I didn't really get to see my messages like I needed to.
Well,
So,
but you talk because if you didn't bring it up, I was gonna bring it up
yeah.
because I just think this is not the time for that. Like black people are sensitive right now, and this is not the story that people wanted to see come out. Like read the room,
Yeah.
Why do people
but
always try to defend stuff when multiple people say no? You're gonna come out and defend it. Well, I mean, I guess if it's your show, you got to do what you got to do. But
yeah.
it just, girl, that's mm-mm.
I saw people black. There was other black people who do marketing, all kind of things, and they were like, mm-mm, "Girl, this was not it." I mean, just not like what black people are going through right now. Like they don't want to see a Asian girl doing a HBCU like
Mm-mm.
With
six
No,
big
year nothing.
earrings and the long, they're like, yo, yo, yo. And no,
no,
no.
oh no,
Mm-mm.
oh
Like we not doing that. We not doing that.
Mm-mm.
Didn't wasn't there uproar about what's that girl's name? Aquafina.
Aquafina. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you missed that. Did you miss that? Like I know, look, but
Don't
everybody gonna make a misstep. I see.
don't even get me started on Aquafina, honey. She's Nora now. She's trying to get
What?
far away from Aquafina as possible, honey.
Oh, I bet she is
Look,
because one, it's what they all do. One, they use us to get in, make waves, and then when it's inconvenient, they let it go. Like everybody, like they all do. And also because she got all that backlash. Because girl, what? Your fake black fan? Don't nobody want to hear all that. Mm-mm.
now, the thing about Kiki Palmer, though, this is actually very on brand for her. She has always been like the very, I know more than you all. I've been doing this a long time. She's always kind of had it.
Mm.
And I mean, quiet as it's kept, she is literally the youngest person to ever have a talk show. So I guess I can see why she feels like she can talk her shit or whatever. But yeah, she when it comes to backlash, she's usually doesn't. She always kind of defends what
Don't
she
back
she
down.
she's
Okay.
but yeah, she's a very much I said what I said kind of girl.
Well,
And
and
we
if your
said
little
what
show
we
don't,
said.
because the people were
No.
speaking and they was like, "Girl, this ain't what you think it is."
Mm-mm.
But hard head make a soft ass. But whatever. I guess she'll fuck around and find out.
Hmm.
When it flops, she'll get it.
Oh yeah, like this is not the time. This is not 1999. This is not 1996, early 2000s, where that probably would have skirted by without anybody saying anything. Girl,
And
hey, maybe even 15 years ago or 10 years ago, but today, mm-mm,
And
mm-mm.
if you really want to, again, I haven't watched the trailer. The only thing I seen was like a still of it, and I saw like the girl with the big earrings and stuff.
Hmm.
But if you really want to wake it up, it's nothing but a copy of, y'all remember that movie Faking the Funk that came out in the early '90s that has Dante Basco
No,
and Pam
I don't think
Grier.
so. Thinking of
Mm-mm.
funk.
and it had
No.
Tatiana Ali. Yeah, it was a good ass movie too. And he pretty much was it was his that was his story. He was but it was done in like in it was done in great taste, I guess you can say. But he was born. It showed how he was raised in a black neighborhood, and he had a crush on a black girl who thought he was quote unquote faking the funk. So, but yeah, girl,
Mm.
that's a good movie, and
Well,
that
so
just
they
sounds
were
like
kind of addressing the faking the funk type thing.
yeah. But Dante's character in the movie, I don't think he was Korean American like this girl. They say this girl in Kiki show is Korean American, so I guess maybe there's a
Right.
different aspect because his character in the movie in Faking the Funk was like all Korean.
Mm.
So
Oh, like actually from Korea, like not
uh-huh.
yeah,
But
because
from
this girl,
Korea
I
and
guess,
left in a black
supposed to be a
neighborhood.
oh, okay, that's interesting. Um, yeah, adopted. And you know what? It's funny. I actually, and I don't know how many of these stories are out there, but I actually worked with a guy who I think was Asian and something else, and he got adopted by a black family. It's interesting. I mean, I wonder how many of those stories are out there for that to even be relevant. But also, I mean, just the times we're in right now, it's just like black folks don't want to see that. That's not what we.
Hmm.
And it's homecoming season right now. Ain't nobody trying to what?
And shout out to my Braxton Family Values fans. Do y'all remember where it was one of in the early episodes, the early seasons where Tamar was talking about how she wanted to adopt an Asian baby, and then they cut over to Tony with her hand over her face like, my daughter, excuse me, my sister Tamar wants to adopt an Asian baby and name her Disney. Baby, they had me screaming. Look, you see what favorite source put in the chat.
What?
Disney. What?
Name
Name
her
it
Disney.
Disney? Oh
She
my
wanted to
God.
adopt an Asian baby and name her Disney, honey. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. They did not explain it in the show.
She ain't been right for a while, apparently.
Ah. Mm-mm.
Well, y'all, that was all the tea that I had for us tonight. So before we head out, before I take my ass to bed, did any of you have any tea that you want to share, or did any of you have any tea that I might have missed?
No, I'm good. You got mine.
Yes. They say, oh, we have a comment. New edition, Boys to Men and Tamar Braxton going on tour. Ow, ow. Wait. Is it going to be all four members of Boys to Men or just the three? We'll look further into that. And Tony, yes, honey. We live for Tony Braxton over here, honey. Y'all remember I said I live for an alto. Well, thank you for that piece of tea, Beezus. I don't think did anybody else have any other announcements, T, to share?
Nope.
Well, I will be making a special announcement once we get everything all worked together, and I'll be having an exciting announcement. So please stay tuned. We will be back on Monday at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time for a live show if you can make it. Thank you all for staying with me this late and listening to Crystal's story and sipping tea with me. In the meantime, you all have a fabulous weekend.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.